Hello everybody and welcome back to another Eclair tutorial. This is Lavinia from Bugsang and today we start a new mini-series of 4 videos all dedicated to this demo project right here, which is very popular among our customers because it can very easily be adapted to any Eclipse CDT managed project. This demo applies to Eclair 3.10 and following versions, and it is available along with many other demos, both self-contained and not, in the demo project folder on our issue tracking system, which is accessible to all our customers. In this first video, we are focusing on the use of Eclair with Eclipse-based IDs, and we will take some time to explore some possible configurations. So in case you need to adapt this demo to your own Eclipse project, you can use this video as a guide. If you have done this part already and you'd like to have some fun watching a proper work session, you can click here. Also, if you'd like to see how you can use this demo from Eclair GUI and in batch mode, keep following this mini-series. Those videos are coming very soon. Alright, let's start. Okay, so I'm assuming that you have already downloaded and unpacked our demo project. So we can now take a readme.txt file, which contains information on how to use the demo, including any potential adjustment that might be necessary in order for our demo to work. Please make sure that you have downloaded the correct demo, that you have installed Eclair correctly, and that the Eclair bin directory is listed in the path environment variable. Otherwise, you will have to modify the eclair_settings.bat file in the Eclair folder as specified in the README file. Let's proceed with the first adjustment, which is checking that the workspace_dir Eclipse and Eclipse_ini environments contained in the settings.bat file are correct. Let's open the settings.bat file. Now, I don't need to touch workspace_dir because in my case that's fine just as it is. On the other hand, since my Eclipse folder is actually on my desktop, Eclipse and Eclipse_ini are pointing to the wrong location. So let's check out that both files eclipse.ini and eclipsec.exe are here, and let's correct the path of both environments. Next is following step 2 of our README file. So first we check that the toolchain used within Eclipse for the CRC project corresponds to the one that is specified in the file eclair_settings.bat, which is in the Eclair folder. So let's quickly open it to verify this. These are the intercepted toolchain components. In this case, all components are correct, so we don't need to make changes. Now, we would normally have to proceed with step 3 of our README file, but as we just saw, our toolchain components paths were all correct, so there is no need to change anything with the GUI. To open our demo CRC project, let's first open our Eclipse-based IDE in Eclipse, or as I'm about to do, let's directly open Eclipse. When selecting a workspace, we can choose whatever we want, as long as it is not the same workspace that is specified in our settings.bat file. If we haven't already, we now need to install the Eclair plugin for Eclipse as described in the user's manual. As you can see from the top bar menu, we have done it already. Let's now follow step 3, selecting File and then Open Project from File Systems. We go on with step 4, clicking on Directory and selecting the CRC folder. Finally, step 5, we click on Finish, and as you can see, the project has been imported. Before performing an analysis, well, it is not mandatory, but it is recommended to enable the Eclair plugin from the top bar menu to start the server. To do that, we simply click on Enable in the Eclair drop-down menu. Make sure that you are in the View console to see the outcome. After being enabled, the Eclair plugin will attempt to connect. If no Eclair Report server is running, the plugin will start one and connect to it. Otherwise, if the server is running already, the plugin will automatically connect to it. The message "Client connection successful" confirms that the IDE plugin has been properly connected and that we can proceed. Further proof is that the top bar menu has now been updated. And finally, we are ready to perform the actual analysis of the project with Eclipse. So back to the README file, where step 1 tells us how to select the build configuration that will do the analysis. While we're at it, I'll explain how it works. So here you can see the various build configurations that are available for this demo. Debug and release are configurations for builds that are not analyzed with Eclair, while on all others an Eclair analysis is performed. Eclair runs an incremental analysis. Eclair file runs an analysis on a single file. Eclair final is like Eclair configuration but generates textual reports in ODT format. Eclair STU runs an incremental analysis but only for single translation units rules. We're going to have a look at the Eclair configuration in just a second, but first let's explore the project properties to get an idea of how these configurations are built. Eclair_make.bat is the script to be run for the build that gets analyzed with Eclair. Arguments are not relevant here because we're going to use those that come with the chosen build configuration. These are the environments from which the script Eclair_make.bat is called and will obtain relevant information for the analysis. Analysis mode sets the kind of analysis to be run, in our case full because we want a complete analysis. In build config, we set the build configuration that has to execute the compilation to be analyzed, in our case debug. Pay special attention here not to specify a build configuration that runs an analysis with Eclair. To be clear, do not select any of those starting with the word Eclair. Rule set contains the set of rules that are going to be analyzed. These correspond to the rules that are enabled in the Eclair \analysis_mc3.ecl file. But for instance, if I had written HIS, the analyzed rules would have been those enabled in the analysis_his.ecl file. Textual reports can be true or false, depending on if we want to generate reports in ODT format or not. Now let's have a look at the Eclair file configuration, which, as we said before, only runs an analysis on a single file. It differs from Eclair because obviously analysis mode is set on single file, and it has an environment called selected file that specifies the file to be analyzed. Also, selected file is set with an Eclipse variable indicating the last file that was selected. Moving on to Eclair Final, this has the same setting as Eclair, but once the analysis has finished, it will generate ODT files and open the folder in which they are contained. And finally, Eclair STU, which is set as Eclair, with the only difference that Eclair STU is set on STU only. Now that we have a better idea of how configurations are set, let's proceed with step 2 of our README. So we select project and then build project in the top bar menu. As before, we can see that the build is running from the console view. Now a browser opens up showing the analysis results. Looking at the name of the analysis project, you will see that it resumes the name of the Eclipse project, the name of the Eclair build configuration, the name of the analyzed build configuration, plus the name of the analyzed set of rules, plus the kind of analysis. Here we can see that all project files get analyzed, while in our next analysis with the Eclair file configuration, the analysis will be performed on a single file. Let's set active the Eclair file build configuration. Let's open the file that we want to analyze and let's click on Build Project. Here we can see that only crc.c and its header have been analyzed. Let's now set active the Eclair final build configuration and build the project like we did before. And here it is. That's the folder containing our reports in ODT format. Okay, let's go back to our README file for a moment. As you can see, all Eclair build configurations are described here, while over here we have all environment variables that are necessary for a build configuration to run an analysis with Eclair, and that therefore have to be transferred to Eclair underscore make.bat. Okay, to conclude, guys, we took our time to go into details and have a look at each configuration, but the actual process of adapting your own project following the README file is way quicker. You can get to CRC reports within minutes, really. Now, for the funny part, click here and enjoy a proper work session with Eclair, where we focus more on the reports, showing how you can solve violations using the main features of Eclair and of its IDE plugin. If you made it so far, make sure that you subscribe and turn on the notification bell to get notified when we upload the next videos of this series. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Bye!